Hello and welcome back. Today we begin something simple but very powerful. Positive English talking. Before we learn big grammar or difficult words, we must first change something very small. The way we speak to ourselves. Let me tell you a story. There was a learner named Ayan. He wanted to learn English just like you. Every day he opened his notebook, looked at new words, and tried to speak. But every time he tried, something stopped him. Not his teacher, not his book. It was his own voice inside his mind. One morning, Ayan stood in front of the mirror. He looked at himself and said quietly, "My English is very bad." He did not shout. He did not feel angry. It was just a normal sentence for him. Something he said every day. Then he tried to speak one simple line. "My name is Aya An. I am learning English." But after that, he stopped. He looked down and said, "I can't speak. I always make mistakes." Have you ever felt like this? Maybe you also say, "I can't speak English." Maybe you also think, "I am not good." Maybe you also feel shy and afraid. If yes, then listen carefully, because this is the most important part of your journey. Words are not just words. Your words are shaping your mind, and your mind is shaping your English. Ayaan did not know this. For him, these negative sentences felt normal, but slowly they became stronger. When he opened his book, his mind said, "This is too difficult." When he listened to English, his mind said, "You will not understand." When he tried to speak, his mind said, "Stop. You will make a mistake." And because of this, he stopped trying. One day, something interesting happened. Ayan went to a small English class. It was not a big class. Only a few students were there. The teacher was calm and friendly. Her name was Sarah. She looked at Ayan and asked, "Why are you so quiet?" Ayan smiled a little and said, "Because my English is very bad." Sarah did not laugh. She did not say anything for a few seconds. She just looked at him carefully. Then she said something simple. "Say that again." Ayan was confused. "My English is very bad," he repeated. Sarah nodded slowly. "Okay, now say this. My English is improving." Ayan felt strange. "But it is not true," he said. Sarah smiled gently. "It is not perfect, but it is improving. You are here. You are learning. That means you are improving." Ayan stayed silent. Her words felt new, a little uncomfortable, like wearing new shoes. Sarah continued, "Your problem is not only English. Your problem is your thinking in English." Ayaan frowned slightly. "What do you mean?" She said, "Every time you say I can't, your brain starts to believe it. Every time you say I am bad, your confidence becomes smaller. But when you say I am learning, your brain becomes open." Ayaan did not answer, but something inside him started to move. Sarah wrote 2 sentences on the board. "I can't speak English." "I am learning to speak English." Then she asked the class, "Which sentence gives you power?" The students looked at each other. One by one, they said, "The second one." Sarah nodded. "Yes, because it is positive, and it is also true." Then she looked at Ayan again. "Now you try." Ayan took a small breath. His voice was not strong, but it was clear. "I am learning to speak English." It felt different, not perfect, not powerful, but different. That small moment was the beginning. After the class, Ayan walked home slowly. His mind was thinking, "I am learning. I am improving." The sentences were simple, but they stayed in his head. The next morning, he stood in front of the mirror again. His old sentence tried to come back. "My English is very bad." But this time he stopped. He remembered Sarah's words. Slowly, he said, "My English is improving." It did not feel natural. It did not feel strong, but it was new, and new is important. That day, something small changed. When he opened his book, he still saw difficult words. But this time, he said, "This is new. I will learn it." When he listened to English, he still did not understand everything. But this time, he said, "It's okay. I will understand slowly." When he tried to speak, he still made mistakes. But this time, he said, "Mistakes are okay. I am learning." Can you see the difference? Nothing outside changed. Same book, same words, same level. But inside, something started to grow. Confidence. Now I want you to stop for a moment and think. What do you say to yourself? Do you say, "I can't"? Or do you say, "I will try"? Do you say, "I am bad"? Or do you say, "I am improving"? Because this is your first step. Now let's do something together. Repeat after me. I am learning English. I am improving every day. It is okay to make mistakes. I can speak step by step. Say it again. Slowly. Feel the words. This is positive English talking. It is not magic. It is not fast. But it is powerful. And here is something interesting. At the end of that day, Ayan tried to speak one full sentence with his classmate. Just one sentence. It was simple and not perfect. But for the first time, he did not stop himself. And something surprising happened. His classmate understood him. That small success made him smile. But what happened the next day was even more surprising. Because Ayan did something he never did before. And that is where our story continues. Chapter 2. The next morning felt a little different for Ayan. Not a big change, not something dramatic, but something small, quiet, and new. When he opened his eyes, his first thought was not negative. It was not, "I can't." It was not, "This is too hard." Instead, a simple sentence came into his mind. "I am learning." He stayed in bed for a moment and repeated it again. "I am learning." The words still felt soft and a little strange, but they did not feel wrong anymore. That was the first sign of change. He stood up, walked to the mirror, and looked at himself. The same face, the same room, the same life. But today, he made a different choice. My English is improving, he said slowly. This time, his voice was a little stronger. That morning, Ayan decided to try something new. Not a big plan, not a difficult routine, just small steps, simple actions. Because big change always starts with small habits. While brushing his teeth, he tried to think in English. Not full sentences, just small words. Brush, water, clean. At first it felt funny, even a little silly. But he continued, because he remembered something important. It is okay to be slow. It is okay to be simple. When he sat down for breakfast, he looked at his tea and said quietly, "This is hot." Then he looked at his bread and said, "This is soft." These were very easy sentences, maybe too easy. But for Ayan, they were powerful, because he was finally using English in real life. Later, he picked up his notebook. Normally, he would feel pressure. His mind would say, "You will not understand." But today, he paused and changed that thought. "I will understand slowly," he said. He opened the page and saw new words. Some were easy, some were difficult. For a second, his old thinking tried to come back. This is too much. But again, he stopped it. No, this is new. I am learning. Then he started reading one word at a time. Not fast, not perfectly, but with patience. After some time, he decided to practice speaking. This was always the hardest part for him. Speaking made him nervous. His heart would beat faster. His mind would go blank. He stood in front of the mirror again and tried to speak. "My name is Ayan. I am learning English. I want to improve my speaking." He made a small mistake. He stopped. For a moment, everything became quiet. His old voice returned. "See, you made a mistake. Stop now." But this time, something different happened. A new voice appeared, calm and gentle. "It's okay. Try again." Ayan took a deep breath. "My name is Ayaan. I am learning English. I want to improve my speaking." This time, it was better. Not perfect, but better. That small moment was important, because this was the first time he did not stop after a mistake. In the afternoon, something unexpected happened. His friend Bilal sent him a message. "Hey, can we talk in English today?" Ayan looked at the message and felt nervous immediately. His hands became a little cold. His mind started to worry. "I am not ready. I will make mistakes. This is too difficult." All the old thoughts came back at once. He almost typed, "No, I can't." But then he stopped. He looked at the message again. Then he remembered Sarah's words. "Your thoughts are shaping your actions." He closed his eyes for a second and whispered, "I am learning. I will try." Then he typed something different. "Yes, let's try." That one sentence changed everything. They started chatting. The conversation was simple, very simple. "How are you?" "I am fine." "What are you doing?" "I am studying." Ayan made many mistakes. Sometimes he forgot words. Sometimes he wrote the wrong sentence. But something surprising happened. Bilal understood him, and more importantly, Bilal did not laugh. He did not judge. He just replied. The conversation was not long, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10. But for Ayan, it felt like a big step. After the chat, Ayan put his phone down and sat quietly. His heart was still beating fast, but this time it was not fear. It was excitement. "I did it," he said softly. Not perfectly, not fluently, but he did it. That evening, Ayan started a new habit. Before sleeping, he sat on his bed and thought about his day. Not his mistakes, not his problems, his progress. Today, I spoke in English. Today, I learned new words. Today, I tried again. These were small wins, but they were real. Then he added one more sentence. "I will do better tomorrow." This simple night practice made his mind calm. It helped him see growth instead of failure. Now I want you to think about your own day. Do you practice English only in books? Or do you use it in your real life? Because English is not just something you study. It is something you live. You can use it in small ways. When you wake up, say one sentence. When you eat, describe your food. When you walk, think simple words. When you sleep, remember your progress. This is called daily English habit. And when you add positive thinking to it, something powerful happens. You stop fearing English. You start using English. Now let's practice together. Repeat after me. I will try every day. I am not afraid of mistakes. I am getting better step by step. I can speak simple English. Say it again. Slowly. Feel the meaning. Because this is how confidence grows. Not in one day, but every day. And here comes an interesting moment. The next day, Ayan went to his English class again. But this time, something was different. Sarah gave the class a small task. "Tomorrow," she said, "each of you will speak in front of the class for 1 minute." 1 minute. It sounded small, but for Ayan, it felt very big. His heart started beating faster again. Speak in front of everyone? Fear slowly returned. But now, he had something new. A choice. Would he go back to his old thinking? Or would he use his new positive voice? He looked at the board. Then he looked at himself. "I am learning," he whispered. But the real test was coming. And it was not going to be easy. Because speaking alone is one thing. But speaking in front of others, that is a completely different challenge. And that is where our journey continues. Chapter 3. The classroom felt quieter than usual that day. Not because there were fewer students, but because everyone was thinking about the same thing. Speaking in front of the class. Just 1 minute. But for many, it felt like standing on a big stage. Ayan walked into the room slowly. His hands were slightly cold. His heart was beating a little faster than normal. He sat down and looked around. Some students were reading their notes again and again. Some were whispering to themselves. Some were completely silent. Ayan took a deep breath. I am learning, he whispered. But this time the sentence felt a little weak, because fear was stronger today. Sarah entered the class with her usual calm smile. She looked at everyone and said, "Good morning." The class replied, but their voices were not very strong. She understood immediately. "You are all thinking about today's task," she said gently, speaking for 1 minute. Some students smiled nervously. Some looked down. Sarah walked to the board and wrote one simple sentence. It is okay to feel afraid. Then she turned to the class. Fear is normal. Even I feel nervous sometimes when I speak. But today is not about being perfect. Today is about trying. Her words were simple, but they made the room feel a little lighter. Then she added another sentence. Confidence does not come before speaking. Confidence comes after speaking. Ayan listened carefully. That sentence stayed in his mind. After a few minutes, Sarah called the first student. One by one, students went to the front. Some spoke clearly. Some made many mistakes. Some forgot their words and stopped. But something important happened. No one laughed. No one judged. Everyone listened. Ayan watched carefully. His fear did not disappear, but it changed. It became quieter, more controlled. Then suddenly he heard his name. Ayan. His heart jumped. This was his moment. For a second he wanted to say, I am not ready. He wanted to stay in his seat. He wanted to avoid this situation. But then, something inside him spoke. I will try. He stood up slowly and walked to the front of the class. Each step felt heavy, but he kept moving. When he reached the front, he turned and faced the class. So many eyes, so much silence. His mind went blank. This was the moment he feared. For 1 second, nothing came out. Then his old voice tried to return. You will fail. You will forget everything. You are not good enough. But this time, Ayan did not listen. He took a slow breath. It's okay, he whispered to himself. Then he remembered his simple sentences. My name is Ayan, he began. His voice was soft, but clear. I am learning English. He paused. His heart was still beating fast, but he continued. I started learning because I want to speak with confidence. He made a small mistake. He noticed it immediately. For a second, he stopped. The class stayed silent. This was the turning point. Before, he would stop completely. Before, he would give up. But not today. He looked at the class again and said, Sorry, I will say it again. That one sentence changed everything. It was not perfect English, but it was real confidence. He continued, I want to speak English every day. I practice in the morning. I talk to myself. And I try to think in English. Now something new was happening. His voice became a little stronger. I am not perfect. I make mistakes. But I am improving. The words felt powerful because they were true. He looked at Sarah for a moment. She gave him a small, encouraging nod. That gave him strength. I believe I can learn, step by step. Thank you. He stopped. The room was quiet for a second. Then something beautiful happened. The class clapped, not loudly, not like a big show, but honestly. Ayan felt something warm inside his chest. Relief, pride. He walked back to his seat slowly. His hands were still a little cold, but his mind was calm. I did it, he said quietly. Not perfectly, but he did it. After all the students finished, Sarah stood in front of the class again. I am proud of all of you, she said. Today you did something important. You spoke, even when you were afraid. Then she looked at Ayan. And I want to highlight something, she said. When Ayan made a mistake, he did not stop. He said, I will say it again. That is confidence. Ayan looked down slightly, but he was smiling. Sarah continued, confidence is not speaking without mistakes. Confidence is continuing after mistakes. That sentence stayed in everyone's mind. After the class, Ayan walked outside. The air felt fresh. The world looked the same, but he felt different. His fear was still there, but now it was smaller, and his courage was bigger. Later that day, something interesting happened again. While buying something at a small shop, the shopkeeper spoke in English. Do you need anything else? Normally, Ayaan would stay silent or answer in his own language. But today, he paused. Then he said, no thank you. Two simple words, but a big step. The shopkeeper smiled and nodded. That small moment felt like a victory. Now I want to ask you something. Are you waiting to be perfect before you speak? Or are you ready to try, even with mistakes? Because this is the truth. You will make mistakes. You will forget words. You will feel nervous. But that is not failure. That is learning. Now let's practice together. Repeat after me. I can speak, even if I'm afraid. Mistakes help me learn. I will try again and again. I am becoming more confident. Say it slowly. Believe in your words. Because this is how real confidence grows. Not in silence, but in action. And here comes the next challenge. The next day, Sarah made a new announcement. You will work in pairs, she said, and you will have a real conversation in English for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Not alone this time. With another person. Ayaan felt that same nervous feeling again. But now, he also felt something new. Excitement. Because he knew one thing. He was not the same person anymore. And the next step in his journey was waiting. A bigger conversation. A bigger challenge. And a bigger chance to grow. Chapter 4. The next day, Ayan entered the classroom with a different feeling in his heart. Not complete confidence, not complete calm, but something in between, a quiet strength. He remembered yesterday. He remembered standing in front of the class. He remembered his fear, and most importantly, He remembered that he did not stop. I am improving, he whispered as he sat down. Sarah walked into the class and smiled. Good morning, she said. Today we will do something simple but very powerful. We will learn new words, but not in the usual way. The students looked curious. Sarah wrote one word on the board. Difficult. Then she turned to the class and asked, What do you feel when you see this word? One student said, hard. Another said, confusing. Ayan stayed quiet, but he thought the same. Sarah nodded. Yes, many learners feel afraid of new words. They see a long list and they say, this is too difficult. But today, we will change that. Then she erased the word and wrote a new sentence. This word is new. I will learn it. She looked at the class. Do you see the difference? The room was silent for a moment. Then Ayan slowly nodded. Sarah smiled. Words are not your enemy. Words are your tools. And today, we will learn how to use them with positive thinking. She wrote a small list of words on the board. Happy, learn, try, improve, speak. These are simple words, she said, but today you will not just read them, you will use them. Then she gave a task. Make one simple sentence for each word. Keep it easy. Keep it real. Ayan looked at the first word. Happy. He thought for a moment, then wrote, I feel happy when I learn English. It was a simple sentence, but it felt good. Then he looked at the next word. Learn. I learn new words every day. Then, try. I try to speak English. Then, improve. I want to improve my English. Finally, speak. I speak English slowly. Ayaan looked at his sentences. They were not perfect, but they were his. Sarah walked around the class, checking everyone's work. When she reached Ayaan, she read his sentences carefully. She smiled. Very good. These are simple and clear. This is how you learn. Ayaan felt a small sense of pride. Then Sarah said something important. Now say your sentences out loud. Ayaan felt a little nervous again. Speaking was always harder than writing. But he remembered something. I will try. He took a breath and began. I feel happy when I learn English. His voice was soft. I learn new words every day. A little stronger. I try to speak English, now more confident. I want to improve my English. His words were clearer. I speak English slowly. He finished. Something felt different. This time, he did not stop. He did not doubt every word. He just spoke. Sarah nodded. Very good. You see, you are using English in a real way. Then she turned to the class and said, This is the secret. Do not memorize long lists. Use small words in real sentences. And always speak with positive thinking. The class continued practicing, but suddenly something unexpected happened. Sarah gave a new challenge. Now, she said, you will use these words in a short conversation with your partner. Ayan's heart moved again. Conversation. That meant thinking fast. That meant responding. That meant possible mistakes. He looked at his partner, Bilal. Bilal smiled and said, "Let's try." Ayan nodded. They started slowly. Bilal asked, "Why do you learn English?" Ayan paused for a second. His mind searched for words. Then he remembered his sentences. "I learn English because I want to improve," he said. "Not perfect, but clear." Bilal nodded. "Good. Do you feel happy when you learn?" Ayan smiled slightly. "Yes, I feel happy when I learn new words." The conversation was simple, but it was real. Then suddenly Ayan forgot a word. His mind went blank. The old fear returned quickly. "I don't know what to say. I forgot." For a moment, everything stopped. This was the critical moment. Before, he would stop completely. But now he had learned something new. He looked at Bilal and said, "Wait, I am thinking." That sentence saved him. It gave him time. It gave him control. Then he continued, "I try every day. Sometimes it is difficult, but I continue." Bilal smiled. "That's good." The conversation continued, slowly, simply, but successfully. After the activity, Sarah called the class again. "I want you to understand something important," she said. "Forgetting words is normal. Making mistakes is normal. But stopping is your choice." Ayan listened carefully. "Stoppin' is your choice." That sentence stayed in his mind. After class, Ayan walked home again. But today, his steps felt lighter. He looked at things around him and started using English in his mind. Car. Road. People. Then he made small sentences. The car is fast. The road is busy. People are walking. Everything became practice. Everything became learning. That evening, he opened his notebook again. But this time, he did not feel pressure. He wrote 5 new words and 5 simple sentences. Then he spoke them, slowly, clearly, with belief. Now, I want you to think. How do you learn words? Do you only read them, or do you use them? Because real learning happens when you use words in your life. Now let's practice together. Repeat after me. This word is new. I will learn it. I can use simple words. I am not afraid of new vocabulary. I am improving every day. Say it again. Feel the confidence. Because this is how vocabulary grows. Not with fear, but with use. And now something interesting is about to happen. The next day, Sarah brings a new activity. Listening. Not reading, not writing. Listening and understanding. Ayan feels curious, but also a little nervous, because understanding English is a different challenge. And this next step will test everything he has learned so far. His thinking, his patience, his confidence. And the journey is about to become even more real. Chapter 5. The next day, the classroom felt different again. Ayan walked in with curiosity, but also a small fear inside him. Speaking was one challenge. Learning words was another. But today was something new. Listening. Not reading slowly, not writing carefully. Just listening. and understanding. Ayan sat down and looked at the board. Sarah had written one simple sentence. You do not need to understand everything. The class looked confused. Ayan thought, how can I understand if I do not understand everything? Sarah turned to the class and smiled. Today, we will practice listening. But first, I want to change your thinking. Many learners make one big mistake. They try to understand every word. And when they don't, they feel stress. They feel lost. They stop listening. She paused for a moment. But today, you will do something different. You will listen for meaning, not for perfection. Ayan listened carefully. The idea felt new, but also interesting. Sarah continued. When you listen, focus on key words. Focus on simple ideas. Stay calm. Do not panic. Then she gave the first activity. I will say a sentence. Just listen. Do not write. Do not stop me. The room became silent. Sarah spoke slowly. I go to the market every morning to buy fresh food. Ayan listened. He did not understand every word, but he heard something. Go market, morning, buy food. He understood the idea. Sarah asked, what did you understand? One student said, market. Another said, morning. Ayan raised his hand slowly. Buy food. Sarah smiled. Very good. You see, you did not understand everything, but you understood enough. Ayan felt a small relief. Maybe listening was not as impossible as he thought. Then Sarah gave another sentence, this time a little faster. My friend is learning English because he wants to travel to another country. This time, Ayan felt a little confused. The sentence was longer. His mind tried to catch every word, but he missed some. For a second, panic started to come. I don't understand. This is too fast. But then he remembered. You do not need to understand everything. He relaxed a little. He listened again in his mind. Friend, learning English, travel, country. Slowly, the meaning became clear. Sarah asked again, what did you understand? Ayan answered, your friend learns English for travel. It was not perfect, but it was correct. Sarah nodded proudly. Excellent. This is listening. That moment felt powerful for Ayan. For the first time, he did not feel like a failure when listening. He felt like a learner. Then Sarah increased the challenge. Now you will listen to a short conversation. Ayan's heart started beating a little faster again. Conversation means two people, more words, more speed. Sarah began. Hello, how are you? I am fine. What are you doing today? I am studying English at home. That's great. Keep practicing. The conversation ended. Ayan blinked. It was fast. His mind tried to remember. For a moment, everything felt mixed. But then, slowly, some words came back. Hello. Fine. Studying English. Practicing. Sarah asked, what did you understand? Ayan thought for a second, then said, two people talk. One studies English. Sarah smiled. Perfect. That is enough. Enough. That word changed something inside him. He did not need to be perfect. He just needed to understand the idea. After a few more exercises, something amazing happened. Ayan started to feel calmer. When he did not understand, he did not panic. When he missed a word, he did not stop. He just continued listening. That was the real change. Later, Sarah gave one more activity. You will listen to your partner, she said, not me. Now the challenge was real. Ayan turned to Bilal again. Bilal started speaking. I study English every day. I watch videos and listen to simple conversations. Sometimes I don't understand, but I try again. Ayan listened carefully. At first, he felt a little pressure, but then he focused on key words. Study, every day, videos, listen, try again. He understood the message. Then it was his turn. Ayan spoke slowly. I am learning English. I practice speaking. I make mistakes, but I continue. Bilal listened and nodded. You are improving, Bilal said. Ayan smiled. That simple sentence felt like a reward. After the class, Ayan walked home again. But today, something inside him was very calm. He remembered how scared he used to feel when listening to English. He used to think, I don't understand anything. But now, he knew something important. I understand something. And that was enough. That evening, he tried something new. He opened a simple English video on his phone. Before, he would stop after a few seconds. But today, he stayed. He listened. He did not understand everything, but he understood some words, some ideas. And he continued. 5 minutes passed, then 10 minutes. He did not stop. That was a big victory. Now I want you to think. What do you do when you don't understand English? Do you stop? Do you feel afraid? Or do you continue? Because listening is not about catching every word. It is about staying calm and understanding step by step. Now let's practice together. Repeat after me. I do not need to understand everything. I listen for meaning. I stay calm when I listen. I am improving my listening skills. Say it slowly. Believe your words. Because this is how real listening improves. And now, something important is coming. The next day, Sarah gives the class a final challenge. A real conversation. Not practice, not small sentences. A real situation. Ayan feels it again. That mix of fear and excitement. Because this is the moment where everything comes together. Speaking, listening, thinking, and most importantly, believing. The next step will not be easy, but it will be powerful, because this is where learning becomes real life. And Ayaan is about to discover how far he has truly come. Chapter 6. The next day felt different from all the others. Not because the classroom changed, not because the lesson was new, but because something important was about to happen. A real conversation. Not just practice, not just repeating sentences. A real moment where Ayan had to use everything he had learned. When he entered the classroom, he noticed something immediately. The chairs were arranged in a different way, not in rows, but in small groups. Sarah stood in front of the class and smiled. "Today is your final activity," she said. "You will have a real conversation in English. No notes, no reading, just you and your words." The room became quiet. Ayan felt his heart beating faster again. This was it, the moment he had been moving toward. Fear slowly appeared in his mind. What if I forget everything? What if I make too many mistakes? What if I cannot speak? The old thoughts were back, but this time, something else was there too. I am learning. I am improving. These words were not weak anymore. They were strong. Sarah continued, "You will speak for 5 minutes. Talk about your daily life, your goals, your learning. Do not worry about mistakes. Focus on communication." Then she looked at everyone carefully. "Remember, progress is more important than perfection." That sentence stayed in the air. Ayan took a deep breath. "Progress, not perfection," he whispered. Then Sarah called the pairs, Ayan and Bilal. Ayan stood up. This time his steps were not as heavy as before. He sat across from Bilal. For a moment, both were silent. This was the beginning. Bilal smiled and started. "Hello, Ayan. How are you today?" Ayan paused for a second. His mind searched for words. Then he answered, "I am fine. I feel a little nervous, but also excited." It was honest, and it was real. Bilal nodded. "That is normal. I also feel the same." Ayan smiled slightly. That small connection made him feel more comfortable. Bilal asked, "Why do you want to learn English?" Ayan thought for a moment. Before, he would try to make a perfect answer. But now, he chose something different. Simple and clear. "I want to learn English because I want to speak with confidence. I want to understand people, and I want to improve my future." His sentence was not perfect, but it had meaning. Bilal listened carefully. "That is a good reason," he said. "How do you practice every day?" Ayan felt more relaxed now. "I practice in the morning. I speak in front of the mirror. I learn new words, and I try to think in English." He paused, then added something new. "Sometimes I make mistakes, but I continue." That sentence felt powerful because it showed growth. Bilal smiled. "Yes, that is important. Continue." The conversation was flowing now. Not fast, not perfect, but natural. Then suddenly, Ayan forgot a word. He stopped. For 1 second, silence returned. This was the moment, the real test. Before he would panic, before he would stop completely. But now he remembered everything he had learned. He looked at Bilal and said, "Wait, I am thinking." That simple sentence gave him time. He did not feel afraid. He felt in control. Then he continued, "I want to say, I like learning English because it makes me feel happy. He found a new way to express his idea. Not perfect, but effective. Bilal nodded. I understand. That moment was very important because Ayan did not need perfect words. He just needed communication. As the conversation continued, Ayan started to feel something new. Presence. He was not thinking too much. He was not afraid of every mistake. He was just speaking, listening, responding, living the language. After a few minutes, Sarah said, "Time is over." The class slowly became quiet again. Ayan leaned back in his chair. His body felt light. His mind felt clear. Did I do well? He thought. Then he answered himself. I did my best. And this time, it felt enough. Sarah stood in front of the class. I watched all of you, she said, and I saw something beautiful. I saw effort. I saw courage. I saw growth. Then she added, remember this moment, because this is where your real learning begins. Ayan looked around the room. Everyone looked different. Not perfect, but stronger. After the class, Ayan walked outside slowly. The world looked the same. But he felt different. Not because he became fluent. Not because he spoke perfectly. But because he changed something inside himself. His thinking. He stopped near the road and looked at the people around him. Then he said quietly, I can speak English. That sentence was simple. But now it was true. That evening, he stood in front of the mirror again, just like the first day. But this time, his eyes were different. I am learning. I am improving. I can do this. And he believed it. Now I want you to think about your own journey. You may not be perfect. You may still feel afraid. You may still make mistakes. But look at yourself. You are here. You are learning. You are trying. And that is powerful. Positive English talking is not about being perfect. It is about believing in your progress. It is about using simple words with confidence. It is about continuing, even when it is difficult. Now let's practice one last time together. Repeat after me. I can speak English. I am not afraid of mistakes. I am growing every day. I believe in myself. Say it slowly. Feel every word. Because this is not just English. This is your mindset. This is your future. And this is only the beginning. Because your journey does not end here. In fact, it starts now.